This is part two of the 10-part series in which I discuss 10 things to know about dowry or the bride's gift or Mahr in Islam. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihil kareem. In the previous video, I talked about why. Part one. Be sure to watch that video where I talk about what the Quran and Hadith say and how the Mahr or dowry is a way to honor your wife and honor the sacred law. Today, in this video, let's go over what the dower should be. This is a question I get all the time. Let's talk about what is acceptable, what is unacceptable. What if it's vague, unknown, or not mentioned? Maybe they forgot to mention it in the nikah. And a couple of other questions. Can teaching the Quran be considered mahr? And can she forgive the mahr? So let's get into it. Number one, what should the dower be? It can be any halal good or service that has monetary value, such as cash, gold, silver, diamond, precious metals, jewelry, clothes, vehicle, furniture, real estate, animals, plants, cattle, vacation trip, education, training expenses, umrah, hajj, etc. The wife has the right to decline anything she does not agree with. It's her right, it's her property, and she can agree to whatever you offer. So, for example, let's say your wife is from the city, and city women are not used to taking care of cattle, cows, sheep, and chicken. You offer her some cattle. She has the right to decline because she wouldn't even know what to do with it. It's her right. She can decline anything she does not agree with. Here are some categories of haram or unacceptable types of mahr. It cannot be anything haram, such as idols, statues, alcohol, pig, proceeds from haram wealth, such as riba or usury, lottery, gambling, etc. This one is pretty obvious. It cannot be anything haram. It cannot be something that does not exist. For example, future proceeds or profits. For example, if he says, if I make a profit, I will give you part of it or all of it. That's unacceptable because he does not know. He might lose that business opportunity, or he might take a loss and might not make a profit and then say, well, I didn't make a profit, so you don't get a mahr. That's unacceptable. It cannot be something that is unpossessable, undeliverable, or ownerless, such as birds in the tree, fish in the river, camels in the desert. These are obviously unacceptable items. It cannot be something that is insignificant or useless, such as dirt, single seed, or some useless old furniture that is junk, that has no value, no market value. It cannot be required obligations. As you know, the wife's maintenance or nafaqah, such as housing, food, clothing, and other things. There's a lot of details. We'll talk about the wife's maintenance. All of these things he's required to pay for after the marriage anyway. These cannot be considered mahr. Similarly, he cannot say, well, if I die, you get my inheritance. No, that's unacceptable because she will get her fair share of inheritance from your property after you die anyway. And it cannot be things like intimacy or making love. The general rule is that if the dower is unacceptable, the nikah is still valid. And she deserves what's typically received mahrul mithil, which we will talk about for someone like her. We'll talk about mahrul mithil, inshallah, as part of this series. As long as it's equal to or above the legal minimum. We will talk about the legal minimum in the next video, inshallah. And any gifts he gives that are outside of the marital contract, outside of the nikah, that have not been specifically mentioned in the nikah when they talk about the mahr, those do not count towards the mahr. That's not the dowry or part of the dowry. And many men give gifts in addition to the dowry, but please keep in mind that those gifts are exactly that. They're just gifts. They're not part of the dowry. Dowry is a special, specific, legally required gift. That's an obligation to honor the wife, to honor the woman. If the dower is, or the mahr is vague, unknown, or mentioned, as I mentioned before, it does not invalidate the nikah. The nikah is still valid. It is a sunnah to clearly spell it out in unmistakable, precise language that leaves no doubts, no room for doubts, confusion, disagreements, or misinterpretation. If, however, it is vague, unknown, or not mentioned, the nikah is still valid, as I mentioned before. And what should they do if they forgot to mention it, or they found out that what they agreed upon was not acceptable? They should come together and agree on the dower, and whatever they agree on is fine as long as it follows the guidelines. If they disagree, the nikah is still valid and she deserves what's typically received for someone like her, as long as it's equal to or more than the legally required minimum. And we'll talk about both of those. It's important to note that not mentioning the dower or the mahr during the nikah is not haram, but it's makruh. Makruh means it's discouraged, it's detestable, it's reprehensible, it's not a good thing, it's almost haram, but not exactly haram. It's best to not do it. Makruh is something, if you don't do it, you get rewarded, but if you do it, it's still not a full-blown haram, so there's no punishment for that. So it's makruh to not mention it, not haram. But I recommend that it's always a good idea to mention it before I even make a recommendation. It's a sunnah. And if something is sunnah, that means it's recommended. And many scholars, many imams will not even conduct, will not even do your nikah, will not even officiate it unless you have specifically spelled it out and agreed to it. Cancelled dower. Allah has required it. The sunnah has required it. You cannot cancel the dower. And this, if you somehow canceled it, the nikah is still valid and the cancellation is canceled. It doesn't count. You still have to pay her the dower, which is equal to what's typically received, as long as it's above, equal to or above the minimum. Teaching the Quran, there's a difference of opinion. What if the man says, I will teach you the Quran for 1 year? Every day I will spend 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour teaching you the Quran. Can that count towards the mahr? There's a difference of opinion about that. Some say no, some say it's makruh, best not to do it. Some say yes, it's permissible. My sincere advice to you, my dear sister, is to not accept this type of mahr. This is my personal advice. And this, if your husband is capable of teaching you the Quran, let him teach you the Quran anyway. Let this not be a mahr. Let him do that anyway, and he should do that anyway. He's not legally required to, but it's a good thing for him to do that anyway. Especially if you're new to Islam, I recommend not accepting this type of mahr. Make sure the mahr is something of financial value. Forgiven. You have the right to forgive the dower since you are the bride, you are the wife, you and no one else, not your brother, not your father, not your mother, not your grandmother. No one has the right to interfere. They can advise you, right? But it's your property, your right. You can forgive it in part or in whole. However, I do not recommend forgiving the dower. That's it for this, inshallah, this video. In the next video, we will talk about the legally required, the minimum, al-aqal mahr, inshallah ta'ala. This is the ultimate guide to marital success course textbook, The Rules of Love. MuslimMarriageCentral.com. Please subscribe, like, and share. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.